the changing moment came in the game was my son, AJ, Asante Samuel Jr. He came up with the big play. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that was the play that changed the game and changed the momentum for the Pittsburgh Steelers. After that interception, if you watch Tua Tagovailoa's confidence, his confidence went from sugar to straight shit. He was scared to throw the football down the field. He was very confident up to that point. It was the beginning of the game. It was, I think it was the first two series. Within the first two series, he was confident. Then my son, AJ Samuel Jr., he took that confidence right away from him. Just like that. And that just goes to show you, if they don't want to sign my son because I'm too real about the leadership in the Dolphins organization, fuck it. Go and get an interception on their ass then, son. Show them the mistakes. Hey, you should be on that roster with double the money that Pittsburgh Steelers gave them. You know what I mean? Make them pay. Make them realize the mistakes they made. That's what football is about. Life, pretty much. When opportunities are presented and however that situation goes, you show them they made a mistake.
I feel like everybody that came from the Dolphins was out there showing the Dolphins you made a mistake. Jalen Ramsey was out there. You had Jonnu Smith out there looking down the sideline like, yeah. He had a rushing touchdown
that the Dolphins did up to this point looks horrible, especially for the defensive side of the football. Absolutely terrible on defense. And we're going to get into that. But right now I want to talk about Tua's incompetence on that play where my son went and got that football, made an interception, you know? And if y'all saw that play, Tua decided to throw to the side. That is a one route combination. I don't understand what was going on between the play calling, the offensive scheme, and Tua read, the reads that Tua was making. He decided to throw the football to a one route read, pretty much. There's no combination over there. And it's the cornerback and the safety covering that one wide receiver. Why would Tua make that decision? Unless it was some design play and the scheme said that he was supposed to throw it to that guy. You know, that play right there just showed me the incompetence of Tua Tagovailoa. And that's pretty much how that whole game went, because pretty much Tua isn't used to playing against a defense like the Pittsburgh Steelers showed up tonight. You know, they showed up and now they're playing Pittsburgh Steelers football, zone defense, physical football. They have players in pretty much every part of the zone ready to attack when the football comes out of the Tua Tagovailoa is the quarterback's hand. So yeah,
I could tell you exactly what happened on that play. You know, Dolphins came out with their first 15. They had they motions, their natural little movement they do. They got that 1-2 pop, give it off. So that one play, they did a little play action, and Tua was about to go to the tight end, but it was taken away. So he just like earlier this season, he was like, I can read, I could come off my number one read. He came out that number one read and just looked and just threw it.
Yeah.
And it was like it messed up the whole rhythm they had going. Like, you know, he got playing that rhythm offense. And once that rhythm was taken away, it was like he didn't know what to do. He just like gave it up.
Yeah. And that's what I said. Tua's just used to having wide receivers just wide open through the scheme that Mike McDaniels designed. And that, like I said, that wasn't the case tonight. And he played horrible, pretty much. He played horrible. He did his normal check downs and throwing the screens and things like that to get his yards. But other than that, he played horrible, you know. Besides the one interception, Tua almost threw like 3 or 4 interceptions in the first half. He only had like 3 or 4 incompletions, but those 3 or 4 incompletions were players was getting hands on the football, you know. And that's why I said Tua wasn't used to the Steelers having players and playing that zone coverage and zone and players in the zone everywhere. Because in zone, it's zone play those mind games on the quarterback. Something looks like it's open right there, and it's really not open. You know, you got people moving through the zone. And I've always said, I always said man-to-man coverage is easy coverage for the quarterbacks to pass against. You know, it's not much of a read. And that's when Mr. 1-2-3 Tua Tagovailoa is at his best. When there's man-to-man coverage, he has those fast, explosive receivers, and he could just take his little drop back, 1, 2, 3, and let the football go. That's when Tua Tagovailoa is at his best. But tonight showed you exactly the type of player Tua Tagovailoa is. And he's not really I don't know what category to put him in. He's a Mike McDaniels mentee. Let's put it like that. He's a Mike McDaniels mentee.
But man, that's how a lot of times like the stats can be misleading. Because if you went to sleep tonight and you woke up, and like, oh, okay, Tua did good. He
Tua
threw for
getting off.
250. It's a little bit close. No, the game was over. The game was over. They was down by 25 points, and that's when, because in the first half he only had 8 attempts and probably like 60 yards in the first half. So you know what I mean. Once the game got 25 points,
yards to be exact.
yeah. So once the game got out of hand, it was 25 down by 25 points. He started moving the ball up and down the field, and that's what he got. Damn near 200 yards, and it's not going. When somebody fell asleep that night, woke up in the next morning, about Tua played good. No, you got to watch the game and see how they could not move the ball, cannot complete a pass until basically the game was over.
Yeah. And I'm not sure, man, if tonight's game is a depiction of the way the Steelers defense will be playing in the future. This is how they need to play and what we're used to seeing. Or because they were playing the Miami Dolphins. I don't know. But, either way, it was a good game for the Steelers defense tonight, and it's a confidence booster for them moving forward. Mm-hmm. And this is the type of defense we're used to seeing them play. Physical football, great zone defense, and I hope they keep it up. And the reason they're so good in zone coverage because they don't bite on the play action fakes like other defenses do in the NFL. That's why Tua Tagovailoa struggles so much. They read play action reads better than any team in the NFL that I've watched over the years. I'm not saying specifically any season, just overall as a unit, as the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's something they do over there that they work on that, and that always has been a part of what they did good on defense. And that totally screwed Tua's game plan up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's one wide open like he used to in that scheme. But overall, man, this was a bad look for Mike McDaniels and Tua's relationship. Woo! Owner Stephen Ross, man, he has to have a sour taste in his mouth after watching his offense look so pathetic. And how this game ended. This game ended horribly. Terrible. Mike McDaniels really tried to give up on this game. He tried to give up. It was clear as day. No one could say it on TV, but he tried to give up. And then he realized he couldn't. Why miss an opportunity on an onside kick just to try an onside kick after the Dolphins finally scored? That tells me right there he was trying to give up. He was like, all right, let me let the time run out. If we score, so be it. Most of the time we ran out. Mm-hmm. And then what? Mike McDaniels was well, he was trying to get back to that warm weather. He wasn't worried about this freaking game. He was trying to get back to Miami where the warm weather is and get up out of that cold and snow. He was sick of being up there at that point. He wasn't worried about trying to get the football back into the Tua. Finally threw that last touchdown. Then he realized he didn't have a freaking choice but to kick onside kick because the game was too close at that point. Dolphins were 2 scores away from potentially taking the lead. Go ahead.
No, I was saying, they were like taking their time going into the huddle, making substitutions. There was no urgency in their game and trying to catch up really to make a difference in this game. But for the Dolphins, I mean, I know the owner got to realize Tua is 0-6 in weather under 4 degrees. If you want to win in the playoffs, you got to play under 40 degrees. So you got to realize that we got to make a change at quarterback. You can't win a game under 40 degrees.
Yeah, you have no choice but to play in cold weather if you want to get to the championship. Unless you, the number 1 seed, you're playing home, you have home field advantage, and you have that bye week. But that's not the case, and that probably won't be the case in Tua's lifetime. You know what I mean? But getting back to the Dolphins and Mike McDaniels, after they scored, and then he realized the game was close, and he didn't have a choice but to kick onside kick and start fighting. It was too late by then. Too much time was already wasted. And tonight was a clear indication that the leadership need to be changed in Miami. Leadership need to change.
For sure.
Mike McDaniel started trying to coach after Tua scores and the game is within a two-score game. Then he finally decides to start coaching. Like Like, how did he figure the game was over with about 5 or 6 minutes left in the game, maybe more than that, and down 3 scores? That was wild. No one understood. And then he starts the end of the game calling timeouts, making coaching decisions, trying to play situational football. That whole time, Tua, and it's like, where's Tua? Tua, take some leadership, take some accountability. Coach, what are we doing? Hurry up, get the plays in. Tua didn't have an ounce of urgency in that during the last 4 minutes of the game. He wasn't worried about anything. Like, where somebody take charge. Somebody say, Coach, what are we doing? We giving up? I'm still out here fighting, Coach. Mm-hmm. Man, that's bad. That is a bad sign that Mike McDaniels just sent to his team. Anybody affiliated with the Miami Dolphins that or has something to do with the Miami Dolphins, that was a bad look, man. And listen, if we aren't hearing anything about Mike McDaniels and his job as the head coach of the Miami Dolphins this week, man, something is going on. I understand they did good these past few weeks, but who they were playing the New York Jets, they're playing the New Orleans Saints. I mean, the best win they had was Buffalo. That was about 6 weeks ago. You know, that was pretty good.
All right, I got some Mike McDaniels stats for you right now, some Dolphin stats.
Please read them off.
Mike McDaniels in prime time is 4-13. Then you got Tua 0-6 as starter under 40 degrees. But Miami overall, they are 0-14. Like the last 14 games they played under 40 degrees, they lost. 0-14. And then it
tells you a lot right there, man. That should tell you a lot about your quarterback, man. That is not about the team. That has nothing to do with the team. That points to one position. And that's the cold weather quarterbacks that arm don't work in the cold weather. You understand, man? Like that points to one position. That's that quarterback. Quarterbacks that don't have the arm to thrive in cold weather. Simple as that.
The last one it's a 25th season without a playoff win. 25 seasons without one playoff win. So it got to be some changes.
And you know, that brings me to another point. There's 2 places that are the hardest in the NFL for coaches to succeed or head coaches to succeed. Can anyone guess those 2 places? Please, chat, y'all talk to me. Guess those 2 places.
Yeah, I think Miami and Cleveland.
You got one right. You say Miami. That's one on the list. And we was talking about this team the other day, and this team it reminds me exactly of the Dolphins. The same concepts.
Cowboys.
The Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys and the Miami Dolphins are the hardest place for a head coach to succeed, or coaches, period. It's just too many obstacles to overcome because of the long history of bad decisions with player personnel and coaches. Everything that has, all the decisions that has been made for the past 10 seasons for both these teams are just ingrained in the freaking team. And it's like, they can't overcome it. Like I say, it's like sell the entire team, all the players, and start from square one like it's an expansion team. New team. You need a new quarterback. You need everything. And unless you just start trading a bunch of players and having a bunch of draft picks, I don't see how these 2 teams overcome what they're going through, you know. So,
and they got they got two of the highest paid quarterbacks right now.
Yeah. But let me tell you about the time and possession. And make y'all understand what the Miami Dolphins are going through on the football field when Aaron Rodgers continues to just drive 80 yards, 70 yards, 90 yards down the football field. That's a horrible feeling for us defensive players, you know. That feeling of being on the field for so long because we can't stop the offense and our offense can't convert on 3rd down. The difference in time possession, let me put it in perspective. I mean, we ain't talking about the end of the game when the Dolphins had the ball for a while, right? But the difference in time possession, like I said, let me put it in perspective. It's like the Miami Dolphins defense playing 80 snaps in this game. And that would be compared to to the Pittsburgh Steelers defense playing 40 snaps in the game. That's a big difference. That is a huge advantage to one side of the team, to one side of the opponent. That is a big difference. That's so much wear and tear on the Dolphins players' bodies compared to the Steelers' bodies. And that's how you lose games. When the Miami Dolphins didn't want to tackle anybody, and the Steelers just looked like they was driving down the football field and being the most physical team on the field and running through the Dolphins, it was because the time of possession, the wear and tear already done against the Miami Dolphins. That was that's what happened.
Because the Dolphins definitely came out flying around. They was hitting in the first quarter, but after being in the field so long, all that goes away, man. You keep converting these third downs. It's discouraging. You might like, damn, we still out here. And you seen what happened, man. They scored on 4 straight possessions. It's the first time they've done that in 7 years. So that was all.
Hey, Aaron Rodgers, all right. You got Steelers Nation look ecstatic about this game, but hey, you're playing against the Miami Dolphins, guys. Stop, pump your brakes. Who you got next? The Lions, I think, right? The Lions, you said. So that would be more of a challenge. Their defense is a little better. There you have more of a reason to want to play hard. The Miami Dolphins, they had like a 1% chance or something crazy to make it to the playoffs. So, But
they was actually for the Steelers, the only game that really matters for them to make it, all they gotta do is beat Baltimore for the last game. Even if they lose the next 2 games and they beat Baltimore, they still like win the division. So of course they still gonna want the wins, but it could come down to the last week, and I like that kind of football. Come down to the last week, you don't know who win or you don't know who
you
out.
have to be able to play in the cold. You have to be able to play in the cold. Bo Nix, Bo Nix is legit now, right? Yes, but the cold weather is coming up, and he's playing in Denver, Colorado, so he shouldn't have no problems. And we'll see, man. We'll see the challenge that these quarterbacks have to face in the cold weather. See how they can get it done. Who can get it done in the cold weather, and who will not be able to get it done in the cold weather. That will be determined. That will determine who can move on in the postseason.